live. Welcome everyone to Craft Studios 3.0. And sorry about the echo. There's a lot of echo. We have a little bit of work left to do in this room. It's still fairly empty on the far side of the room, but the near side is solid. I'll just say solid. A couple of moving vlogs coming up here very soon on the channel. I'm going to edit the first one probably tomorrow, and hopefully the second one over the weekend, maybe on Monday. So a couple of new videos coming, and then content going to start rolling right back out. But that's enough about me. Welcome to Talking Heads, episode 110, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm Rhett.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Glad you could join us tonight or this morning, depending on where you're at, because there's only 4 hours left of day here. Anyway, if you are new to the show, thank you guys so much for joining us. We talk about current events in tech and in beer or alcohol-related news. We do drink alcoholic beverages on the show, but we keep this show as family-friendly as humanly possible, both in content and in language. So your little ones are more than welcome to join. If you're drinking something, let us know down in the chat. We will give some shout-outs. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. It can be anything you'd like, from Gatorade to water to coffee to beer to liquor. We are more than happy to give some shout-outs here in the first couple of minutes of the show. Other than that, how you doing today, Rhett?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Anything happened today?
Something did happen. Stepped right on a nail. And,
ooh.
yeah, so I'm on some pain meds. You might notice I'm a little behind the curve. But, yeah, stepped right on that nail. And then you got that instinct to lift that foot up, and of course the board just goes right with it.
Step on a board and the board comes with you.
And yeah, it's kind of another feeling to like pull that out and to just feel it like right out the skin. So yeah, it didn't hurt all day really until I sat down in my car to get home, and now I'm paying for it just a little bit.
Yep.
That's all right. I got some more pain medication.
That's right.
Right here.
That's
Hopefully
right.
we'll get into that.
We will certainly get into that. Let's get into that. So you brought one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, you know, I was rolling through the store and picking up some groceries, and I was gonna pick up a couple things, and you know, I've had my eye on some hazy IPAs a couple times that I was gonna get, but then I saw they had the Dragon's Milk there, and you know, I thought it's a special occasion tonight.
Yes.
We're breaking the bottle on this studio here, I guess, setting it on its maiden voyage. So
That's right.
thought we should do it in class.
My man. All right.
The drink of kings, as it were.
So New Holland Brewing Dragon's Milk. This is their standard Dragon's Milk, but still bourbon barrel aged milk stout, 11% ABV, and like I said, an all-time favorite beer of mine. Not just favorite stout, favorite beer in general. This is probably in my short list of a top 5. Then I got some Pelican Brewing Bad Santa, 7.5% Cascade Dark Ale, kind of a seasonal Christmas beer that they release. Pelican Brewing, Tillamook, Oregon. So let's go ahead and start with that, and then let this stout warm up just a touch.
Sounds good to me.
You got anyone with drinks there in chat?
Somebody's drinking a Miller High Life.
Miller High Life.
Hey,
Right.
it's the champagne of beers. So
That's true, I guess. Just because you claim something doesn't make it true, Rhett.
fair enough. Personally, I don't discriminate against Miller High Life, so you guys know that about me.
Yeah.
So
Rhett's our domestic drinker of the bunch.
you say it like it's all I drink. I drink more craft beer than I drink domestic.
It's true. That is true.
However, I don't shy away from beer.
New studio is pretty nice. Holy crap, does it need some acoustic foam, though? It needs more than acoustic foam. Number one, it needs a lot more furniture on that end of the room.
Yep. I think once you move everything in, it's going to help. And then, of course, some other soundproofing will help too.
Yeah.
But
So we're doing a couple of things to the room. One of the big problems with the room, you can't see to my right, your left right now, but there is no door leading down the hallway. And this is our entire downstairs is tile. And so it's ceramic tile with a fairly empty room with an echo chamber that goes all the way down the hallway and then bounces back. And so that's actually where a lot of the echo's coming from. I will be putting a door in that opening next week. I don't know if I'll have it up by Wednesday or not. That remains to be seen, but we'll be putting in a door. Once all the furniture is moved in here, that'll give it a lot less direct lines to bounce off of. Right now I'm talking into a blank wall. So there's more than we can do than just acoustic foam, and actually acoustic foam is going to make the least bit of difference out of those items.
Yeah, that'll be the last thing on the list, and that's just for maybe a little extra.
Right. Yeah, acoustic foam doesn't make or break your acoustic set. It's all the other accoutrements in the room that do it. So anyone recognize the microphones above their heads? That's because I didn't want to bring my giant mic stands in. And we're actually a little bit wider angle than we normally are. A little bit smaller desk than normal. I went from an 8-foot desk almost to a 5-foot desk. And so we're a little bit wider angle on the camera and a little bit tighter in here.
I did notice we're a little closer than normal.
We're a little closer together.
I thought Jeff had a strategy that he was trying to work on me. So
Yep. No.
I mean, it is working, but. Well, hello.
Well, hello. George Clooney in there.
I was going for like a Zap Brannigan.
There you go. Oh. No, I was going George Clooney from... gosh, what is that?
Batman.
No. Gosh, what is the name of that movie? Brad Pitt.
Like Oceans?
No, not Oceans. The other one with Brad Pitt. Burn After Reading.
Oh.
You need to watch Burn After Reading.
I'll think.
George Clooney's a married player in that. His wife's filing for divorce, but he keeps getting on dating websites and whatnot. And every time he meets a new woman, she walks up and goes, "Hi, are you him?" And he goes, "Well, hello." Nice. He does it like 5 times in the movie, and it's great every time.
Hey, Che says my jacket's looking good.
That's right.
$4 at Goodwill. Could be yours too.
If you can find that particular jacket.
It's true. I was thinking that I just
you needed 2 people to throw that away.
That's true, yeah. I'll be the second one. Yeah, actually, I was looking for a jacket with a big collar, and it's not like the highest quality, but actually I've been enjoying wearing it because it's heavy, it's warm, kind of waterproof, and it's got the big collar, which I was looking for. So
I too rock a leather jacket most days. Mine's over there. I'm not wearing it right now.
No, your leather jacket is legit and looks awesome. This is not leather.
Yeah. Mine's actually leather.
It looks like leather from far away.
No, it's a good looking jacket though.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's a good fake leather.
Yeah. I'm 90% sure. I tried to do research on the brand. I'm like 90% sure it's like a 90s like Sears off-brand.
Yeah.
So I couldn't figure out much more than that. But
awesome. All right. Well, let's get into tonight's news. So we start with about 20 minutes or so with the beer news, and then we will jump into the headline stories in tech. Starting with, if I remember what my hotkey is tonight, you might notice the normal laptop is not here. That's actually my work laptop. Strictly for chat tonight, our setup's a little, we'll call it improvised. Why is Rhett being punished by using a Mac? $2 from Regan. It's because I forgot my laptop at the old house, and we're not officially moved in here until Saturday. So, yeah, that's why. So, that is not even a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air. That is my 12-inch MacBook. So, it is the Core M7 model, though. It's the higher-end 12-inch MacBook. So, anyway, let's get into our news tonight.
yeah, why am I typing in chat?
I have no idea. You can just talk.
Yeah.
You can just talk. It is okay.
Brought to you by Glad Plastic Garbage Bags. Thanks. It kind of does look like that from far away.
It's not that bad. Not that bad at all.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
How dare you, Steve?
All right. So, what brewery was this? Brewery in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sycamore Brewing. There it is. Had some cans that caused a little bit of controversy this last week. And they had to pull the cans from store shelves.
A little bit of controversy, if you will.
Controversy. How long were you thinking about that
Right up until you said controversy, and I was like, oh, you missed it.
I can replace a vowel.
Shut up.
The ultimate pun trick. I'll change this O to an A.
Hey.
Whatever works, man.
Pretty good.
Anyway, they got into a little bit of hot water because of their can art. Now, they're not the first brewery to get in trouble because of the can art, but this one went a little bit lewd. And again, this being a family show, I'm not going to show it, but I did link the unedited can in the video description, so go ahead and take a quick gander at that. For those who don't want to click it, or do want to click it, it's not overly not safe for work, but it's something I'd probably get demonetized for on YouTube.
In fact, when I first looked at it, I was like, wait,
Think
what?
of Custer's Revenge for NES, but with reindeer.
Right.
Think of like an 8-bit Kama Sutra with reindeer.
Yeah, exactly.
For painting the
I had
appropriate
to enlarge the picture to see what it was about.
So did I.
'Cause I was like, what?
So did I. Yeah, but it's literally like pixel art reindeer in various forms of coitus.
It's a very medical way of putting it.
Yes. So they were in a little bit of trouble for their can art. They have since pulled the R and X rated cans for a safer G rated cans for their Christmas cookie winter ale. So if you were thinking about picking up a Christmas cookie winter ale, well, I guess originally it was a Christmas nookie winter ale. See, that's a pun.
That's pretty good.
That's a pun.
Pretty good.
Right there. That's right. I guess Custer's last stand was for the Atari 2600. That's right. Yeah. So, enhance. Perfect. So yeah, Sycamore cleaned up their act. I thought the can was hilarious myself.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was pretty harmless. I mean, what's crazy is like they're in trouble for it, but it's like beer drinkers are all adults.
Right. Everyone's over 21, but it was sold in like Safeway and stuff like that.
Keep your kids out of the beer aisle.
Right. Exactly. So, and like I said, it wasn't gratuitous. It was just like, Mommy, those reindeer are hugging.
Yeah, or what's even more, it's like, I guess the cans
What are they doing? They're dancing.
Cans come in different types of packs, I guess, but I was thinking like, you got a box around it usually,
Right.
So what are the kids doing like, no, Mom, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the mom's like, Skylar, Piper, I told you I told you not to get under the beer again. Well, my friends drank all yours.
Hunter, close the fridge right now.
Hunter, Piper, and Skylar.
Yeah, that's right.
Good one.
Spelled with 2 Y's.
Yeah, that's true.
And the T, incidentally. Anyway, moving right along. So if you live in the UK and you plan on voting on December 12th, Brewdog would like to give you a free beer. Really no strings attached. Stop by a Brewdog pub in the UK somewhere with proof that you voted. If you voted over mail or through the post, as they say, just bring your confirmation card. And if you voted in person, bring your voter registration. And you can pick from, I think it was one of 3 beers. IPA Funk AF, Hoppy Ale Nanny State, or Vagabond, the brewer's gluten-free American Pale Ale. So definitely get out and vote. I usually stay out of politics, but one thing I will say is you don't get a right to complain if you don't actually get out and make your voice heard, if you have the option to do so. So those who don't vote, shut up.
Yeah.
So
go vote and get a free beer if you're in the UK.
That's right. See what was the D saying?
He's saying, is Rhett sporting a troublemaker shirt under that jacket?
He is indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the D, super chat. 5 Canadian, which I guess is real money, so we'll take it.
It is real money.
It is real money.
Heck yeah.
It's real money.
That's a beer in Canada.
That's right. Yeah, is the troublemaker shirt under that jacket? Not bad, man. Am I the first to spot that? I'm disappointed.
You must. I think you are the first.
I think you are the first to spot it.
Yeah, I was gonna have my jacket unzipped a little bit more, but I got super paranoid that the image on it might be too bad. Like it's not bad, but I mean it's not bad, but
give us a turn.
Okay, but it's it's gonna. No,
you're fine.
Okay.
It's a game, so
yeah. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I just wasn't sure, I got like really paranoid when I drove here, and I was like, I didn't bring an extra shirt,
and I don't even have any extra clothes here.
Right.
So, I guess we're going live.
We could do it shirtless. Oh no, wait, nipples would probably demonetize.
That's right. Yeah, nipples, instant demonetization. Yeah.
Sorry.
Definitely have to click that "not made for kids" COPA checkbox on YouTube now. In really fantastic drinking news. You much of a health nut? You eat healthy foods?
I did have some broccoli with dinner tonight.
Okay, excellent. I do that once or twice a week.
I'm not a health nut, but I try to be aware.
Yes, that's how I'd classify myself as well. Yeah. Is I don't actively seek out only eating the healthiest things, but I'm aware of how many calories are in what I'm eating, and I'm aware of every little snack that I have and whatnot, what's the calories there? And so just mental notes, really, in general health. Anyway, some fantastic news. If you're wanting to get into helping out your gut health a little bit more, is that apparently drinking strong beer is just as good as taking probiotics. And what they found is that certain German beers, particularly Belgian strong ales, contain a certain type of bacteria that is twice as effective as a standard probiotic yeast that's naturally found in your gut.
Yeah.
So ingesting regular probiotics, to help with digestive health and whatnot, it does a decent job. But get yourself a nice Belgian strong ale, an Amare Secret from Belgian Underground.
Belgian Underground.
Here in Silverton, Oregon. Oh, heck yes. One of my favorite Belgian strongs of all time. But pick yourself up one of those instead of eating some Activia yogurt. You'll probably be better for it.
That's true. Yeah, and I think this is one of those weird things where I think common sense and like what we know about probiotics would seem to indicate that we already knew this, but now there's a study that backs it up.
Right.
So.
No, seriously, it's healthy.
Yeah. And anybody who is a health nut knows how important probiotic health is. They're finding out more and more and more how many human ailments and diseases and things like that are linked to poor gut microbiome health.
Yep.
I mean, they're finding out that the quote-unquote gut feeling, all of this thinking with your gut or whatever they say, might not be as stupid as it sounds.
Right.
They're finding out that your gut might have neurons that are capable of processing. So drink your strong beers and help nourish that microbiome down there, and
that's right.
Do yourself a favor.
And it just gives you an excuse to drink more beer.
Do you think this counts?
I don't think this counts as a Belgian strong ale at all. Yeah. I know it counts as more beer.
But does it count for probiotic health? It's strong. It's dark.
Maybe it is very dark.
It's brewed in Holland.
It's brewed in Michigan.
Yeah, Holland, Michigan.
Yeah,
it's brewed in New Holland.
Yeah, no, it's brewed in Holland, Michigan, and they just call it New Holland Brewing.
Yeah, that's. I said it was brewed in Holland, and then you were like, Michigan.
Right.
And then I tried to make a joke that it's brewed in New Holland because it's New Holland Brewery.
Right, okay.
Get out of here.
Your pun game is weak tonight. That's all I'm going to say.
It's never been strong.
That is very true. That is very true.
So my pun game is probably elevated tonight.
Let's see. Skull says, checks his beer, 7.9. Guess I gotta go grab something stronger.
Just dump some yogurt in it.
Yeah. I just eat meat, probably 3,000 calories once a day. Works for me.
Actually, meat does meat have that many calories? I guess if it's like fatty.
Yeah. Meat has a lot of calories.
Yeah, fair enough. I was thinking like rabbit meat.
Becky says, daughter just came into the family room, looked at the TV and says, "Oh, it's Wednesday." Do you think she needs to be in bed? It's almost 10:20. It's almost winter break. She's probably not got very much left of school. And if I remember correctly, you homeschool. So, let her stay up. Give her till 11. Let her watch the first half of the show. Just remember, you owe me. Reverend's got a 12% Lagunitas Rye Barrel Aged Stout. Oh, I was wanting one of those.
Sorry. Jeez. I'll think about that next time I'm at the store.
I guess.
Although Shifty Wolf thinks Dragon's Milk is the greatest of all time.
It's probably true.
It's definitely good. I'm glad everybody's hyped about it.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be something special. I don't know how many times it's been drank on the show, if ever.
Once or twice.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I've seen it, but I feel like I've had it on the show.
I think you and I have had it, and I think John and I have had it as well. It pops up every once in a while.
Yeah.
So Bad Santa's never been on, though, so that's a new one.
Oh, yeah, what do you think about it? We never clinked glasses. We never talked about it. You want to take a minute and talk about Bad Santa?
Sure.
Very Christmassy.
Very Christmassy.
Dark ale, so it's not super thick.
It's got a bit of malt. It's a little cold for my liking right now.
Like temperature-wise?
Temperature-wise.
I was thinking like, you talking like flavor?
No, like temperature-wise, it's a little bit cold. So I can taste that there's like a malty roastiness in it.
Yeah.
But it's not really coming out.
Yeah, it definitely tastes like some cocoa in there. Yeah. I'm not sure what they, what they're going for when they call it a Cascadian dark ale. But I like it. It's drinkable. It's smooth. I'm a fan of those dark ales and dark lagers, like freaking Michelob Amberbach is like one of my favorite domestic dark beers. It's like really good, really drinkable. It's 7.5, so this is pretty strong. It doesn't taste like 7.5. At least I don't think. When I'm drinking 7.5, I'm always thinking those strong IPA level.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got a little bit of booziness to it. You can taste it. I think you're right. I don't think it quite tastes like a 7.5, but it doesn't taste like a 4 either.
No.
So
yeah,
it's got a little something to it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm enjoying it. And normally, I have this weird natural bias against Pelican Brewing for some reason, and they're good. They're great. They brew a lot of good beers, but for some reason, I think Pelican, and something about it turns me off.
I'm kind of the same way, and I don't know why.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Because I don't know that I've ever had a bad beer from them.
Right.
And there are brewers I've had bad beers from that I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the logo.
I wonder if it's like the minimalist design, because even when I look at the bottle too, I think like and then I see the name Bad Santa, and that's something I definitely would not drink. Name alone.
Right.
Like Jeff mentioned this, and I was like, well, it's a dark ale. And you mentioned it, let's drink it. Yeah. So that's like how we got here. If we were at the tap house, I wouldn't get a single Pelican. Yeah. And if I saw it was Bad Santa, I would not get it. Double time.
I agree with that. Nicey Bryce, $5 donation. Love the way the new studio looks already. Nice and classy. Thank you so much. Here's a tip for all your entertainment you give me. Plus, Red is awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Plus, Red is awesome.
And Becky's daughter is now rejoicing that I let her stay up till 11.
Nice. Well done.
That's right.
And then Skull, by the way, with the $20.
Woo, Skull, $20.
Nailing that.
Missing the 1440p stream, but congrats on the new house and studio. You're missing the 1440p because I am on a very temporary internet setup. I did get a new cable modem, but I didn't feel like setting up my Unify USG and like one of my Unify hotspots or anything like that. I just plugged in an old Netgear router, and the Netgear router has a 10100 WAN port on it. So we are literally running bare minimum for network right now. And in fact, I think out of this, I'm supposed to be getting 50 meg upload. I'm only getting like 7 on this. So I actually had to lower the bit rate. I usually stream at about 8 megabit at 1440p. We're back down to 1080p, and I think I'm at 5.5 megabit.
Did you have to drop wave coming here?
Yes. I am now an Xfinity customer.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. I will say I've had less outages than I had with Wave. But also I hate Comcast so much.
Yep. Yep.
I will say it's the most hands-off experience I've ever had. Until I downgraded my internet service because I was running their gig service.
Mm-hmm.
And I downgraded and they're like, why? And I was like, because it's too expensive. And they're like, well, so you've been paying for it this whole time? I was like, yeah, on a special price.
And I'd rather not pay for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you see where I'm going here?
Yeah, they were so demanding of me. Anyway.
It's okay. I called Comcast to activate my modem because I didn't buy a modem from Comcast or lease one because that's stupid because it's just a DOCSIS 3 modem. So I got approval to do a third-party modem and not lease one. I had to call and activate it because you can't use their automated activation system for that. So I got it all plugged in. It was 22 minutes before I heard a human voice on the other end. And 7 of that before I even got the option for it.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Like I said, it's the most hands-off I've ever...
Yeah.
And they weren't even like that. You know, I had Comcast like about 10 years ago when I first moved out on my own. And it was better back then. I could get a human on the phone or I could go into their office and get help. Not anymore.
Yep. Jason's here. Bite my bits. Holy bananas, Batman. That video has more echo than a bat cave. Yep. Yeah, we're still working on it. We addressed it at the beginning of the show, had you been here on time. So, you know. And then he sips on his Bud Light. Did you at least put like an orange peel on that?
Why would you do that to
Give
a
it
Bud
like
Light?
a little fancy garnish?
An orange would ruin a Bud Light.
Well, they make Bud Light orange. It's literally a flavor. Yeah.
They ruined their own beer. You know what's not bad though? Those Budweiser Clamato drinks.
I've never had one of those.
Yeah, I did once because they were on sale at this grocery store I worked at for $1 for like a 24-ouncer.
Well, you know, at that price, I might just try it.
But I also like red beers. And have you had red beers?
Yes.
Like, yeah, red beers are really good. You know, tomato juice and beer or Clamato and beer is a really good drink. And they sold it pre-canned.
Yep.
It's fine for $1.
Yep.
Heck yeah, I'm 100% there. Much more than that, I don't know. But
yeah,
you got me at $1.
Yeah. All right. We should probably get on to some tech news because we got a lot to get to today. Starting with a little bit of AMD news. AMD Zen 4 is on track for a 2021 release. And the early 5 nanometer yields are impressive. And that's pretty much the end of the leak. But you can see the roadmap here. We started on 14 nanometer. We went to Rome on the 7 nanometer with their Epic lineup. And Milan is supposed to be their 7 nanometer plus, launching early 2020. But AMD will be moving to their 5 nanometer process in their Zen 4 architecture, which is going to be not the next release of AMD, but 2 releases out, because I believe they're going to be going to a Zen 3 Plus and a 7 nanometer plus fab in the meantime. But the early results are extremely good fab consistency and yields, which we already kind of knew about the 7 nanometer fabs. They've been incredible on the quality of silicon they've gotten out of them, which is why the price points are lower for AMD, which is why the performance is very consistent, which is why they consistently are hitting the performance targets that they're supposed to be hitting and beyond. Really, really, really good news for AMD. And again, the news just couldn't be getting any worse for Intel. Because, I mean, they keep hoping probably that AMD's going to stub their toe along the way. Because AMD's never had that 1 and then 2 punch, that second punch. Well, AMD's come out and they've landed 3 punches squarely in the gut of Intel. And Intel's on their knees right now, and AMD's going, I got more! So, who knows how messy this is going to get before it gets better for Intel. Yeah, Red Sand, glad people appreciate the jacket. Got another $5 donation.
Well, because you missed the $2 super chat from Jason.
Did I?
Yeah. That's why. That's what my response was for.
Well, it was only... Hold on. Oh, there it is. Aviator Glasses Fund for the pilot. Nice. Sorry, Jason. We have a 5 and a 20 up, and that's taking all the space, so yours dropped off faster. But I appreciate the donation, buddy. And we'll see you in Vegas when we'll finally get you to drink a good beer. Let's see.
Yeah, like a Budweiser. Brewed only with 50% rice.
Yeah. Big Spoon, $5 donation. Who needs a sweater vest when you need... who needs a sweater vest when you need aviators with that slick-ass leather jacket looking hot?
Thank you.
I think he means when you have a slick-ass leather jacket.
I mean, I wear my other leather jacket every day of the week except for today. Yeah. So, I mean, yours is slick. Yours makes you look like a European race car driver.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And these are the transitions lenses, the extra active, so they get super dark when I go outside. And yeah, it completes the look. It does.
You look like you need to be grinding a cigarette at the red light, riding your Vespa.
That took a turn.
That's the most European thing I could think of.
Okay.
That was way too specific. Because cigarettes, Vespas...
Yep.
They're very European.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say I'm getting ready to like throw the helmet on. All right. With TR3, memory bandwidth scales up. Unlike Zen 2, you can push RAM speeds up to past 3,800 megahertz, up to 4,800 megahertz with bandwidth, and performance won't fall off a cliff. And yeah, that's exactly right. We are getting much higher performance with the newer I/O chips that AMD is putting at the center of all their dies. There's rumors that with Zen 3 Plus, the I/O die is going to shrink down to 7 nanometer as well, and it might add room for a third chiplet on the standard AMD or the AM4 platform, possibly even a fourth. So we could be looking at like mini Threadripper style chiplet designs on the AM4. It'd probably be an AM4 Plus socket at that point, just because of the thermal load or the power draw on it. But yeah, good things coming from Team Red.
I love how you can see just enough.
Just enough. So our setup tonight is very improvised, as I said. I forgot my laptop at the old house still, so we're using my work laptop that I take with me everywhere. So I don't have a second screen to display like the news articles, and usually Rhett or whoever's in my co-pilot is in charge of that. So instead, Rhett has a chat window up on my MacBook, and so we can read chat. And I have the only other monitor I have in the house is my 43-inch LG 4K. And so it's on the floor in front of us, and I can read this much of it.
Just a sliver.
So I can see the address bar and the tabs, and if I scroll down, I can read like the headline of the article that it's on. So that is our secondary monitor right now. $2, Tom White. Thanks for the great NVIDIA grid videos. A third one is coming up as soon as I get a chance to film it and do a little bit of testing on it. So, yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. But TSMC News, who does all the fabs for AMD, they are on track for 3 nanometer production by the end of 2022. So again, we know AMD has been using TSMC to get down from 14 and 12 down to 7 nanometer. They are on the track for 5 nanometer, and TSMC is saying they will be on track for 3 nanometer production by 2022. Only 2 years away.
Yeah.
So not that far. And if you're talking about a scale of chip density, we're at the point where we're doubling the density every single die shrink from 7 to 5 to 3. So the amount of processing power that's going to be shrunk into an even smaller space is just insane. It's 5 to 3 doesn't sound that impressive. It's the same die shrink from 32 down to 22. I mean, it really is. So if you are a fan of compressed computing and getting the most performance out of a small space. Good times are coming. The other news in this is TSMC is going to be also producing 5G modems and thinner chips for cell phones, for foldable displays and things like that, using this 3 nanometer technology. So as the technology gets slimmer as well, so can the technology, scale with it. So again, not a lot to talk about there, but we know it's rolling along. So you're almost done with, or you are done with your man. I've been talking too much.
Jeez, don't judge me.
You need to talk more,
dude. You're not wrong. I was sitting there listening, and I was like,
I should say something.
I was just thinking about my foot. It really hurts. And every time it's like, oh, can I move it? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys might see me make a lot of faces. Earlier, before we were on the air, I was sitting here.
He was grimacing.
And I was like, every time I would like make a face, and I would see it in the monitor, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I just reflexively made a face. Like I didn't even realize I was.
Right. Yeah, he was grimacing when he was walking down the stairs today. So one quick little set preview is the lighting in here. Now, before my lighting was track lighting in the old studio, not the interim studio that I've been in. But I had track lighting in the old studio, and I had individually controllable RGB LEDs in the sockets. And so I could change the color. The problem was it was an infrared remote that I was using to change the color. Well, I finally bought some Wi-Fi bulbs. So if we want some super sweet looks to the studio, we want a red background.
We should start presetting colors for like the mood of each news piece.
And we totally could. So tell you what, we are on AMD still, so we're gonna leave it on
there you
red.
go. Keeping it on
there
brand.
We go. Yep. So the lighting design in here was one of the key aspects that I wanted to hit with this room. So you notice we got a little bit of hair color, but our faces didn't change color at all. And I'm really, really happy with the way this all turned out. And there's actually more lighting still coming into this room as we go along. But I'll do a full studio walkthrough once I'm all done building. But this really is like 2 separate rooms in one, the way the lighting is set up.
Yeah.
So that side of the room, the lights are actually on full brightness right now for like a workspace. I could build a computer over there and I have enough light to do it. Over on this side, it's very, very dark. And the only lights really hitting us are the studio lights. So a lot of fun stuff. So your house is RGB. Actually, the majority of the house is RGB right now because I bought a bunch of RGB bulbs. So up in the living room, I can change the color and temperature of the lights. We've got full track lighting, or we've got 2 lamps in the living room right now with it, but I'm going to be installing a full track lighting system up there as well. Up above my bar, I've actually got some Wi-Fi Edison bulbs, which usually Edison bulbs are only like the 2700K. I have some color temperature adjustable Edison bulbs on the way that are also dimmable, so each of those lights is going to be individually controllable. Lots of really, really, really fun stuff coming. So can't wait. Can't wait till it's all done.
It's going to be awesome.
Ooh, actually, this is an Intel story. Hold on. So Bob Swan for Intel says that Intel 7 nanometer is just as good as TSMC 5 nanometer. Dang it.
It's just as good.
Just as good.
Come on, dude. Good. It's just as good.
That's right.
Why are you guys abandoning us?
Yeah. So Bob Swan had a fireside chat with Credit Suisse. Oops. There we go. On November 23rd, and gave a nice long-winded talk about where Intel is at and what they see in the coming months. And we're trying to read the article down here. Basically, they Bob said that when Intel dropped from 22 to 14, we were just as good as AMD's 12 and now they're 7 nanometer, and we're still on 14. So with the transitive theory, when we hit 7, we're going to be just as good as AMD's 5. And when they hit 5, we're going to be just as good as their 3. But if you see it, they're trying to Intel themselves declared Moore's Law is dead. This chart is very much like Moore's Law. They're trying to roll the clock back to 2011 and start that whole cycle over again with a new architecture. So they technically got 10 nanometer out the door in 2019. I'll give them that. Technically got it out the door. Here, I'll scroll down a little further so Rick can see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can see these, the 10 nanometer path right here. They launched 10 nanometer in 2019, although it's only 15 watt mobile chips, and not even their high end ones at that. And they're saying in 2020 they're going to have 10 nanometer plus launching, 10 nanometer plus plus. I don't know how they got instantly 2 pluses with 10 nanometer, but they're going for it. Dang it. And then in 2021, they're going to roll out 7 nanometer, and then they're also going to roll out a 10 nanometer plus 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 based on the new 7 nanometer architecture. So going to be backporting that to a larger fab. Then they're going to, in 2022, do 7 nanometer plus, and then do 7 nanometer plus plus with a backport of the 5 nanometer fab in 2023. And then 2 years later, 2025, 2027, and 2029. So they're basically trying to redo Moore's Law, but if you remember, about a certain point, we'll say right about here, they stopped being able to do this. And instead, this plus just kind of went on the cycle. And we got plus, 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 plus without getting the next fab down. And it didn't actually take all that long for that to happen. So Bob, I love what you're saying. I hope Intel is able to spin it around. I don't think it's going to be that quick. I think you're at least a year behind your own timeline. And I think you're a good 2 years behind AMD. And I don't see that changing without some drastic improvement from Team Blue, without some drastic swing of the pendulum towards them. Yeah.
Things aren't looking good.
Nope. I'm going to try to finish my beer real quick.
No rush. No rush.
Well, we got an hour and 15 left in the show, so.
I drank mine really quick.
You did. As Jason would say, I'm nursing this one a little bit.
Yeah.
As craft beer, you should.
Yeah.
It's for enjoying.
Any beer worth spilling
not just
is a
drinking.
beer worth drinking.
That's right.
See? It is right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. By 2034, they'll have 4 nanometer processors. Tick tock 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 tock. I would recommend not drinking beer while on pain meds. You're just on ibuprofen, right?
Oh yeah, I'm on Aleve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like taking.
Relax.
yeah.
Relax.
And even then, I'm one of these types that I actually don't. I don't like taking as much medication as most people would.
Yeah.
So it's like I took Aleve right after I stepped on it, which was like 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you're good at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. Yeah, the other malaise that you're witnessing has been the early mornings and late evenings that I've been working. In fact, I got off work, drove home, changed my clothes, drove straight here. So it's been a long day. That's part of the malaise that you're seeing.
And I fully understand that.
Whatever malaise means.
Whatever malaise means, yeah. Let's see. Saturday night, I left here at 11:30, and it's a 30-minute drive back to my old house. Saturday, I was out of here, 9 o'clock. So got back home about 9:30, went to bed. Sunday, I was here most of the day as well, until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. went out to a nice dinner with my wife and my kids, and then we went up to Portland and did a holiday train. And my 2-year-old is like nuts about trains, and so that was really cool. The choo-choo! The choo-choo! It's a big old, it's a steam train, and they do a holiday train on it. So it was a genuine steam-powered train,
Cool.
wood-fired. So lots and lots of fun. Yep. So that was cool. By 2034, Jeff will have finished that beer. Yeah, but that one beer is worth like 2.5 Bud Lights. So, where are you at?
Got him.
There we go. Oh, yeah. So, beer number 2, New Holland Brewing, Dragon's Milk Stout, bourbon barrel aged. Right now, all the medics are coming out and warning Red about taking acetaminophen while also taking a leave, even though we never mentioned acetaminophen.
Yeah, it is funny. You said ibuprofen.
Yeah.
I was wondering where they got that, but yeah.
Yep. So.
Beer tastes like crap.
It's a new desk.
I know.
There are no cup rings on this desk yet. By the way, do you like the new desk?
I do.
Yeah.
Are you asking me or them?
Yes.
I like it. Also, the D to my rescue. Malaise is French and translates almost literally to displeasure.
Well, then you were displaying your malaise, weren't you?
I was displaying a malaise.
A malaise. Yes.
Thanks, D.
Yep. Make Linux videos, please. I have. Have you not been watching?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Ikixon.
Yep.
Good job, Ikixon.
Yep.
Go ahead and just look through some of that catalog. We'll be here when you come back.
The couple of gaming on Linux and SteamOS videos. I've got the Proxmox open source virtualization with KVM. I've got technically FreeNAS's FreeBSD, but you know, call it what you want. But yeah, I have made quite a few Linux videos actually.
Sorry, chat's really distracting.
Yes.
This is the most I've ever typed in chat. I usually just respond to it.
All right. And, well, AMD is moving forward with gusto, we'll say, charging a path towards 5 nanometer. Not only has Intel given up on hitting 10 and 7 nanometer with their current architecture, but in fact, they've been rolling backwards. This is probably their most desperate move yet. They are rolling backwards all the way back to a 22 nanometer fab, a Haswell era Pentium 2-core, 2-thread processor. They are reviving for modern sockets. Yeah, although Intel is refuting the fact that the Pentium Haswell was ever discontinued, they've stated that the discontinuance of this chip was in fact made in error, and it has been produced since the time of its inception. Yeah, not a good look when your rival is spitting hot fire with 7 nanometer and you're going, well, let's just roll out a like $60 22 nanometer CPU, 2 cores, 2 threads. Meanwhile, you can get a 2-core, 4-thread AMD 3000G with Vega 3 graphics on board and decimate this thing for $10 less and like 100 watts less. Not quite that much, but you know what I mean.
But that's the story of Intel.
Yep, dual-core processor G3420 without hyper-threading, clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. And I have no idea why it's still a thing, but Intel decided to still make it a thing, and then claim that it's always been a thing. I don't know what you guys have been doing. It's always been a thing. Have you pre-ordered your new Mac Pro yet, Rhett?
Yeah, actually, after all was said and done, before I even got my monitor, my cart was filled with $52,000 of parts.
Yeah. So you're right in the average. Yeah.
I swear, I woke up this morning, that was the top headline on my Google News feed, was just how expensive the new Mac Pros can be.
Yep.
You're looking at, well, as you'll see when we get to the headline, you're looking at the cost of a Tesla.
Yes.
I mean, my grandpa bought his house for 5 times less than that.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a different time, and it's a farm. I said
My-
house, it's a farm.
My dad bought his house in the 90s for $90,000
See?
for a 1,300 square foot in city.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this is what's crazy. This is...
Yeah, you can configure your Mac today. So $6,000 out the door gets you an 8-core Xeon W processor that is no faster than a Ryzen 3700X, although it does have 6 channels of memory. I will say the processor upgrades are pretty reasonable as far as pricing goes. $7,000 upgrade for the 28 core is about what you would be spending at retail. It's not a bad upgrade price. Nor do I think the $13,000 for that particular system is. It's probably a little bit high, but when you look at like Dell and HP, it's probably not outside the norm for things like that. So I'm not disappointed there. We're gonna skip the memory for now. Going with the Radeon Vega 2 with 32 gigs, $2,400. Tesla V range, RTX Titan 8000, or RTX 8000 or RTX Titan. You're in that realm of graphics card. $2,400, not outside the scope of what AMD charges for their Pro cards on the third-party market. The storage is probably a little bit expensive for what it should be. $400 for a 1 terabyte storage upgrade. It should be closer to 2 in an OEM. This should be closer to 4, and this should be closer to 8. So they're bordering on too expensive in the storage, but not like egregiously so. Maybe the 4 terabyte they're pushing it a little much. Please describe the taste of the beers as you drink them. $5 big spoon. We usually do.
yeah.
We'll get into this one. This one there's a lot to digest.
It's a news story in and of itself.
Yep. Apple Afterburner card, their performance card for editing video. It's a $2,000 upgrade, which I think is fair. You consider the Blackmagic render cards that are in those can be upwards of $6,000. So I think that's perfectly reasonable. $400 for wheels. Okay, now you're pushing some limits here. That one I disagree with. But let's scroll back up to the RAM. I'm with you up until about the 96 gig point, because you can get a 128 gig stick for about $1,000 of 2933 LRDIMM ECC memory. So low data rate, ECC registered memory, 2933 speed, about $1,000. So $1,000 for 96 gigs, probably a little bit much, but you're probably looking closer to $700 retail for that. The one that gets me is the 1.5 terabyte. It's this one down here. Because I mentioned the $1,000 price point for that 128 gig stick. That means it's $12,000 for that. That means they're charging you more than double for the RAM upgrade. And that to me is egregious. That to me is crossing some lines. And price gouging the consumer. I don't agree with that. The rest of the system, I have no qualms about the price. When you're talking about enterprise grade and professional workstation grade hardware, I have no problem with the rest of the pricing. The RAM is egregious, and that shouldn't be
$25,000.
Shouldn't be $25,000. It should be $15,000. So
if you want to go with the routine Apple markup,
right. But to their credit, Dell's actually charging like $42,000 for the same RAM kit in one of their systems when it's only supposed to be $12,000. So screw you, Dell. Screw you, Dell. That's what I'll say there. I can't wait for these Macs in 10 years to be affordable. They won't be affordable in 10 years.
No.
Yeah.
Even the used Mac market holds value way too well.
Right. And if the Mac display has gone through some trials and tribulations already because of their $1,000 stand and their $500 or $400 VES amount. So literally you buy the screen and you get nothing to mount it with. You get nothing. You can lean it against the wall, maybe. So Apple's catching a little bit of flack there, but it is a professional grade display. It probably is worth about that $4,000 to $5,000 asking price that they have. Probably should come with some kind of stand. Just saying, should probably come with a stand.
It's Mac.
The really funny thing is, how do you clean the dang thing? Now the standard screen is just glass. It's a standard glass. You wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, and you're done. Apple's doing something a little bit differently with the matte display, and it's actually what they're calling a nanotexture glass, which is the matte layer is etched onto the glass itself rather than being a film or a coating that's applied to the glass later. As a result, Apple says that Apple's Pro Display XDR with matte can only be cleaned with the special Apple-provided cloth, which is probably not adding to its PR win.
Dude, isn't that the most Apple thing you've ever
It's one of the
heard?
most Apple things ever. It's up there with the most Apple things ever.
You can only clean your expensive monitor with our one-of-a-kind cloth.
We're going beyond Apple. We're approaching like Ferrari territory. You can only clean the Ferrari interior with the included microfiber cloth that Ferrari gives you with the Ferrari logo emblazoned on it. You know, we're approaching kind of that territory. Now, I don't know the specifics of the nano-textured glass, but I'm curious to find out.
Yeah. Dude, I'm swear, like, Apple would have been one of those companies that you would have totally seen in a game like The Outer Worlds, where they're contractually obligated, like their contractual obligation to brand loyalty is like life or death, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I just imagine Apple still being there in 1,000 years or 2,000 years, like, you
Mom's friendly cell phone company.
Exactly.
Right.
It's exactly like that. Mom is the perfect example.
Well, the iPhone was the episode.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Futurama, for those who don't know.
I forgot about the iPhone.
Yeah, the iPhone. Yeah. I'm on a call right now.
Some of those later episodes don't stick with me nearly as much.
No.
Like I've obviously loved them, and I believe that they're just as good as the originals.
Yeah.
But they don't recall nearly as fast.
The old Futurama is here with like the honkening being down here. So you drop out your outliers.
Yeah, the honking's pretty bad.
Yeah, the honkening is bad. So you drop out your outliers, and Futurama is here. The new seasons were like here. And so the highs weren't as high and the lows were lower, but the meat of it is still really good.
There's still some really good episodes.
Yeah.
Not the honkening.
The trans-dimensional drift comes to mind as like the honkening level.
Yeah.
The professor is ricing out Planet Express ship.
Yeah.
You lost me.
It's
you lost
bad.
me.
It's bad.
The butterfly roller rink.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, still very good.
Still solid.
Yeah, still solid. Anyway, yeah, these are actually Apple's official support website instructions for how to clean your Apple Pro Display XDR nanotexture glass to prevent damage to your display. So they're actually threatening damage to it. Follow these important guidelines for cleaning the display panel and enclosure. Clean the nanotexture glass. Use only the dry polishing cloth that comes with your display to wipe dust or smudges off the screen. Don't add water or use other liquids to clean the nanotexture glass. Never use any other cloths to clean the nanotexture glass. If you lose the included polishing cloth, you can contact Apple to order a replacement polishing cloth. If I click that link, it takes me to a, would you like to schedule a visit to your Apple store or chat with an Apple representative? That's where it takes me right now.
Dude.
So whether or not that link will get updated, I don't know. But that's where it's going now. Yeah, it's among the most Apple things ever.
This is, a boring dystopia. That's what this is.
Yes.
You can only clean your freaking stuff with one thing. Imagine a future where every product has only one other product that you can clean it with. Mm-hmm. Nothing would be clean. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously.
This shirt is dry clean only. That means it's dirty.
Yeah.
Little Mitch Hedberg on the show tonight. You're cleaning it wrong. Nice. Let's see. Che says Dell is going to get screwed with the Intel shortages, though. No, because they're just going to move to AMD because they're not contractually obligated to use them, nor does their architecture require Intel. So they'll just migrate like everyone else. HP already offers a crap ton of AMD servers, as does Supermicro, as does a bunch of other white box companies. So screw that. Windex and a paper towel. I'm with you. Lose the Windex. Lose the Windex.
What's wrong with Windex?
I always cringe shooting Windex onto a display. Even if it's glass, I cringe. The control button is right there. That's the function key.
Yeah.
So if you want to copy and paste, it's the...
I did that. It didn't work.
Let
me try again. Getting explained how to use a Mac keyboard.
I don't give it today, but the keyboard has LED. Please have some snacks, please. What? That was the first one.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Dang it. Why can't I copy and paste it? You got like a...
Yeah. Okay. All right. Windex forever. You know, Linus has his own bottle of Windex now. If you watch the his office unveil, so he finally got his own bottle of Windex. I guess it was an inside joke. I hope to be part of one day. I'm just full of references tonight. All right. So what do you think of the Dragon's Milk? Because we've got like 3 requests to talk about it.
Yeah, and somebody super chatted it. So
that's right. So we have to talk about it.
No, it's totally solid. It's been a while since I've had Dragon's Milk. And I was expecting something with a little bit more substance, a little bit more meatiness.
It doesn't have quite the cocoa nib flavor that I remember it having.
And I was thinking the same thing.
It's very caramely tonight. It's definitely got a lot of bourbon to it. It's definitely thick, and it has the consistency of skim milk. It's a lighter bodied stout, which is what you traditionally get with a milk stout. But I remember this having a lot more chocolate, and this one's just kind of missing it, and I don't know why.
I'd say you're right. You definitely can. You get that like roasty, malty taste.
Yeah,
but I just
a little bit of that espresso kind of.
Yeah,
but it's almost like a caramel has replaced or supplanted the chocolate.
Yeah,
in it. Like it's still really good.
Yeah,
it's still really really good. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what's up with this batch.
I don't know.
I'm not complaining. Not complaining that much.
Could have been the cheap batch I bought. They're like, send that one to the store that he goes to.
Where'd you get this? Grocery outlet?
No.
No,
I got it at Winco. Said I was grocery shopping.
You did. I actually didn't know Winco carried this one.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've always had some okay beers.
I actually stocked my fridge from Walmart. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But, and like I said, I had my eye on some hazy IPAs, and I saw this, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's go for something special.
Yes. And I appreciate it. Windex is definitely not a great idea for LCD screens. That's exactly right, especially ones that are not glass topped. Even the plastic ones, the Windex is not good for. So yeah, don't reach for Windex when you're cleaning an LCD screen.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Windex has
Just in
abrasives in it. Like,
yeah. It's abrasives. Also, the chemicals can eat away some of the coatings, the anti-reflective coating, anti-glare coatings. Yeah. It's just not good in general. Even though it's like, oh, it's a glass display. It's fine. It's for cleaning glass, right? There's a reason you don't clean your glasses with Windex either.
Yeah.
You'll eat away the anti-reflective.
You should use Windex on glass only.
On windows.
Or... Why did I say that? I was looking at a window when I said that.
Well, the window is made of glass.
Yeah, I know.
I
totally meant to say window, though. Not only that, but I find that it's pretty good for cleaning porcelain, which is kind of glass. Yeah. You know, so... But yeah, you know, cleaning urinals and toilets, Windex works pretty well.
There you go. Hot tips here from Craft Computer.
For all you day porters out there.
Yeah. Moving right along. And actually, we can actually slow down. The tech news didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. Cybertruck. Cybertruck's a real thing. I guess we had one more story in tech. Cybertruck. We all saw the release or the announcement there. The memes have been flying left and right. One thing that was kind of lost in the announcement, I think, because Cybertruck took all of the headlines, was the ATV that they announced alongside Cybertruck. Now, it was kind of a teaser. It was a Tesla, and one more thing. But they drove an ATV out of the back of Cybertruck. And that one kind of got me excited. I love four-wheeling. I love dirt biking, trail riding, all that kind of stuff. And the idea of an electric Tesla off-road vehicle, heck yes, I'm all in. Yeah. You know, give me a 70-mile range, I'll ride all flipping day. Yeah. You know, kind of thing. But apparently it's going to be ready to launch alongside Cybertruck in 2021. So there's no pre-orders live for it yet. But it can actually charge in the rear of Cybertruck off the Cybertruck batteries, or it can supercharge while you're supercharging your Cybertruck. So if you plug in the supercharger, it'll accelerate the ATV in the back as well. And Tesla's aiming to have it released by 2021. So I don't know about Cybertruck still, especially the two-wheel drive model. I think I might be a buyer of the four-wheel drive model eventually.
You like the Cybertruck?
I do like the Cybertruck.
I'm so happy to hear that.
It is growing on me.
I'm so happy to hear that, because when I first saw it, I was
growing on me.
When I first saw it, I was like so excited that somebody was deviating from the standard like truck mold. Right. I was like, this is incredible, and everybody was just knocking on it so hard, except for people that are in the same mindset of me, where they see it and they're like, this is innovation. This is what we live for. Right. Rather than let's get another Ford F-150. How can we change the shape of that? You know?
I will say, I am not the biggest fan of the overall design. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing, beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. It is not a work of art.
But that's what's crazy. Like,
but
it's not supposed to be. I don't.
It's not supposed to be.
And not only that,
it's utilitarian. It's minimalistic, and I like things that are made inexpensively, unapologetically. Yes. And that's exactly what Cybertruck is.
Unapologetic. That's a good word for it.
John and I talked about this last week, right after the unveil, he goes, yeah, but it's just so angular. There's no curves to it. I said, do you know how much money it takes to make a curve versus you can cut out all of Cybertruck flat pack like IKEA. Yeah. You can cut it out of flat steel and then just weld the shapes together. And making a jig for that, so much cheaper than creating a press and a mill and tooling to create all the curved lines that go on a metal fender of a Ford F-150 or on the Tesla Model S or on whatever you happen to be creating that day.
But not only that, I mistaken when I read that the materials that they make the Cybertruck out of just aren't as bendable?
Right. And that's also the case, but there are also cost savings because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making the body itself out of stainless steel, a la DeLorean and things like that. The frame is a mix of steel and aluminum, but they're not like rare alloys or really weird mixtures of things. It's just straight up steel and straight up aluminum. And the reason for that is now we have a $40,000 truck, a sub $40,000 truck that'll do 250 miles still. Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad thing at all. And so, like I said, is it the most beautiful thing I've ever laid eyes on? No. But at the same time, there's this certain appeal of that raw minimalistic look. And the reason for that look is the cost savings making it affordable. Did you want a $70,000 two-wheel drive truck? No one will ever buy that. But at $40,000, sure, you're in line with, you know, a Chevy Colorado and a Nissan Frontier and a Tacoma and things like that, and even a Ford Ranger. Whereas at $60,000, you step up to the all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, constant four-wheel drive model with a 400-mile range. Number one, it blows it away as far as 0 to 60. Not that that's important for trucks, but you have all of the same towing capacity, all of the same hauling room, probably a little bit more because you have a 6.5-foot bed, which is way more than a mid-size truck has.
And that's what's crazy about the whole thing. It's like, I don't know, I just love it. Like how many times, you know, you look at every single new model of car as it rolls out year after year after year after year, and it looks the same. And of course, you get the Tesla, like, you know, all of their sedan models and things like that. And it's like they adhere pretty strictly to like how we think cars should look. And here you got a truck, and it's weird because it's like a market I don't think a lot of people thought Tesla would hit. Or at least if they did hit, they wouldn't hit it in a certain way. But man, they check all the boxes for people like me.
Right.
You got function, completely functional. You're looking at like Jeff said, if you tick all the boxes of what a truck owner is going to be looking for, not only that, but you're going from 0 to 60 in however fast.
In 3.5 seconds. Right?
And
which is like, I remember 10 years ago watching Jeremy Clarkson test the Ariel Atom, and he goes, it does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Whoa! And it was like, that's insane speed. That's available in a truck today. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
And you guys are complaining about that? Like take the looks out of the equation. Take them out entirely. It seats 6. It has a 6.5-foot bed. The 3 motor has a 14,000-pound towing capacity and a 500-mile range and a 0 to 60 in 2.9. You know, it's like, let's just talk about this. Like, what boxes is this not ticking for you?
Dude, I don't know. All of the outrage I could see. What's crazy is I saw the pictures, and at first I didn't. You know, I do a lot of just scrolling through the news, and I see the pictures, and I think to myself, oh, that's not a real thing. And I scroll past 100 of the pictures, and finally like, oh, that's a real thing. And I see on Twitter people nagging on it and all this stuff.
Right.
The only complaints I ever saw about it, nobody's taken down, you know, the stats of the truck. They're talking about how ugly it looks.
Right.
What?
Right.
First of all, even if it is ugly, it's like going to Fashion Week in New York and you're looking at all of these outfits that like don't hold up in the office, and you're like, that's a hideous outfit. No, it's pioneering.
Right.
We are pioneering the shape of future vehicles.
Right.
And for one, I'm bored of how the Ford F-150 looks. I'm bored of how the Ford Taurus looks, for God's sake. Let's get something new and unique. If looks are the only criteria by which you are measuring the appeal of a vehicle, then you should just give it a shot anyways, because it's the only thing that looks like it.
Yeah. I fully agree.
Anyway, there's my rant for the night.
Yeah. So if you do like the look of the Cybertruck and you'd like to show your support of the Cybertruck, there's actually an interesting way you can do that. Jump onto the LEGO Creators page, the LEGO Ideas page, and vote for the Cybertruck LEGO model. Yeah. I want this. I want this for my shelf. I get a couple of Lego sets per year, and I put them together, and they usually sit as display items within my office. I have the Force Awakens Millennium Falcon. I've got one of the droid tanks from Phantom Menace,
which are so cool.
It was cool. You know, love or hate the prequels. The design.
Love them.
I said love or hate. I'm giving you both options. You don't have to pick one. Love or hate it, the design of a lot of the elements inside of that, the battle droids, the tanks, the droids, the Darth Maul in general.
Dude, the droid carrier when it opens
droid
up.
Carrier,
so it's dumping them out.
The design on that movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the clone, or not the clone, the battle droid tank was freaking cool.
I love that.
Laying siege to Naboo and doing the Gungan battle and things like that. That was so cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, if this gets 10,000 backers, they may turn this into an official Lego model. Now, apparently the doors, the trunk, the hood, all of it opens on this model. So it's pretty much as close as they could possibly make it to a fully functional Tesla pickup. And I freaking love it. I love the design inside of Lego. And I want to see this be a real thing. Oh, and then there's the little one.
Less cute. But...
It's cute. It's cute. Yeah. Yeah, go vote for the Cybertruck because I want to see this become a real thing. It's already got 4,000 votes, only 3 days into this, and it has 600 days to reach it. So go vote for the Cybertruck on Lego, and let's see if we can make this thing happen because I want one of these sets. If they don't make it, I will figure out how to build this set.
You heard it here first.
I will say that now. Yeah.
Che says he's going to Comic-Con with a turret on the back of the Cybertruck and a Halo Master Chief suit.
Heck yes.
That's an expensive cosplay.
It's the first thing I thought of was the Warthog from Halo.
It totally looks like the Warthog.
I would totally cosplay my Cybertruck as a Warthog.
But I also just love thinking somebody buying a Cybertruck just for the cosplay.
Just to cosplay it.
And you can't bring the Cybertruck onto the floor of Comic-Con.
Right.
So.
I had a truck that I was considering just doing a cosplay with the truck because I got it for $500.
Yeah.
I had an 88 Dodge Dakota Sport with a full Baja rack on it. So it had a full roll bar set on the back of the truck. It had lights and everything else. And we were considering doing like a zombie apocalypse vehicle with it, like adding a turret on top of it and whatnot. It had a brush guard on the front of it that was made out of repurposed rebar. It was a freaking amazing truck, and I loved the thing. But it was the truck that made me decide I probably needed to go buy a truck. And so I ended up buying a Nissan Frontier, had both trucks for a little while, and I'm like, I can't keep this one just as a project. I need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm taking up 4 parking spots, and there's only like me and my wife. So yeah, one of the vehicles had to go. And unfortunately, it was my zombie apocalypse readiness vehicle.
Your bug out car.
My bug out car, yeah. They got like 8 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It goes.
Yeah, it was the 88.
Burns a quarter mile.
Yeah, it was the 88 with the V8 Magnum. Yeah. Yeah, it was not a healthy... it got like 180 horsepower at most.
Super zombie.
But sounded like a bat out of hell when you were doing it. A lot of noise and not a lot of movement. As it were.
Sounds like me.
That's right. I'll agree with that too. You ever a fan of Reno 911?
Sure. I saw the movie.
Yeah, saw the movie.
That's about all. I've never seen the show.
I watched the show when it was on new, and always enjoyed the show. And always wished they'd bring it back. You know, well, apparently it's coming back as a Quibi exclusive. So this is going to launch as a basically a streaming service exclusive for Quibi on a mobile-only streaming platform. So they're aiming this for mobile devices, on-the-go viewing, not your traditional like TV viewing. So I don't know if that's going to change the format of the show. If it's going to change from like, you know, your standard 23-minute episode to maybe like an 8-minute episode, where they're doing more shorts.
Yeah.
But they're bringing back Reno 911 specifically for this.
Cool.
So I've heard that the original actors are signing on. Tom Lennon, Carrie Silver will be headlining the show, and
Sweet.
I'm certainly all for it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. That's some good news.
Yeah. Smiles per gallon were definitely high on the Dodge Dakota. Little V8 two-door. With, strangely enough, a longer bed than my pickup today has. It had a 6-foot bed. My pickup today has a 5-foot bed. But it does all right. ATV looking a bit like a Halo Mongoose. We could totally mod that one out to be the Mongoose as well.
Yeah, why not?
Totally make that happen.
Baller.
Yep.
Oh. The true headline is hidden within the headline.
Yes. Yeah, this one was interesting. There was an interview done by, gosh, who was that? Kelly Gilmore of Cloud Chamber. She was interviewing with, Games Radar, and said that they have a lot of new ideas for new streaming games, in particular, a new BioShock game. And not a lot of details are out, but this is the first mention that 2K Games is considering another BioShock title, and in fact, it's all but confirmed that they are actively seeking developers for it. So if you've ever played the original BioShock games and you've always wanted more since 1, 2, and Infinite, more may be coming. We have no idea what the setting is. We have no idea anything about it other than that 2K Games is heavily considering it, possibly for a streaming exclusive title, though.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's good news. I don't know if it's bad news. I doubt it's all good news because whenever you say it's exclusive to something, what that means is some audiences won't get it.
Yeah.
And that's always a bummer. So, but they have began assembling teams to create the game. So development is in very early stages, but it looks like it is all but confirmed that we will be getting some kind of a new BioShock game.
Well, good for BioShock fans.
Yeah, exactly. And the last couple of stories that we have... Oh, great. It's one. Oh, there it goes. Did it go? Okay. Last couple of stories that we have are all Keanu Reeves related. First and foremost, the Matrix sequel. We knew it was official. Finally has a release date. It is May 21st, 2021. We will be getting Keanu Reeves and Carrie Fisher returning to the big screen as Trinity and Neo. And... Whoa. Everyone falls the first time.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So yeah, if you were a fan of the original Matrix, man, I'm glad they're finally making a sequel, if I have to say.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
because
there hasn't been enough.
Yeah, the Matrix was great, and I always wanted a second movie.
So are they just disregarding the second?
I am.
Oh. What's crazy is I was like looking at the picture, looking at the headline, listening to what you were saying.
And by the way, that's the original Matrix poster.
I know.
With Cypher on it.
And that's why I was like, so are they making a sequel to The Matrix? Mm-hmm. Or is it a sequel to just The Matrix?
It's a sequel to The Matrix trilogy.
Gotcha.
Right.
That, dude, your tone, the headline, the picture all served to dupe me.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm of the opinion that... I don't know. My relationship with the Matrix is a bit different than most people's. I'm of the opinion that, sure, why not? More Matrix is better than no Matrix, right?
Yeah.
I personally enjoy Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions. I don't know if it's plural or not, but I'm a fan of them just because I think I kind of understood what they were, and it's not as though I held the Matrix IP to like this standard that can't be touched.
Right.
I loved the first Matrix, but I was at a certain age that when the second and third ones came out, I enjoyed them too. They're like the Dragon Ball Z of live action science fiction movies,
right,
in the United States.
I was at an age with the second and third Matrix, so Reloaded and Revolutions, that I was a little bit let down. And I was let down because of the visual quality of the first one was not matched by the second and third.
Yeah.
The first movie didn't have a huge budget, and so they relied entirely on practical effects and brand new camera techniques. The second one, they had this massive budget, and so they said, we'll just CGI it all. And in 2001, that didn't work.
No.
And so you ended up with these instances inside the movies that are literally 100% CGI, and it's really painfully obvious. And while some people criticize the story, I didn't really criticize the story of Matrix 2 and 3. What makes it unwatchable today is that the CGI is so dated on those movies when the first one holds up so well.
Yeah, the first one is like a masterpiece of filmmaking. I mean, it's really good.
It really is.
And it was in that age where practical filmmaking was meeting modern kind of digital filmmaking, and it just married the two like perfectly.
It was a beautiful, beautiful movie from a cinematography standpoint because of the bullet time rig that they created specifically for the Matrix, because of the live action stunts that were 100% live action performed in the movie. They actually built 3 of those hotel lobbies to destroy for the final gun scene, with all the pillars and pyrotechnics and everything else that were going on. The only scene that doesn't hold up in the original Matrix is the elevator door being blown off by the wall of fire, and the fire.
The fire has never been good.
The fire is real. The elevator door bouncing in front of it is not, and that one's painfully
the fire is
obvious.
real. I remember watching that scene even in 1999 and thinking it looked like garbage.
It's because the elevator door looks such trash.
Yeah,
it is what that is. Whereas in the second and the third movies, they have entire scenes that look trash.
Yeah,
you have the Neo fighting the 1,000 Agent Smiths, and
I like that scene.
But you have intercut scenes of really good
CGI with bad. Yeah.
Of really good, like 1,000 Agent Smiths running through the door, where it's actually his face repeated over and over 1,000 different times, from 1,000 different angles and doing 1,000 different things. And then you go to a 100% CGI scene where it's literally the same model of Agent Smith standing there like this, copy and pasted, and then a freaking terrible looking Neo in some unreal camera motions and things like that.
Yeah, there's some bad ones, like when he's got the light pole thing and he's like spinning around and kicking everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly the scene that breaks it for me.
Yeah.
It is him standing on that rod and doing the kicks in a circle around Agent Smith, because all of it just looks bad.
Yeah, and you're coming off of the first Matrix, which is like almost a classical kung fu movie in so many regards. Like it's so good, and the fight scenes are so amazing.
And they took the fantastical and they took it too far.
Yeah,
and that's always been my chief complaint of Matrix 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's a little bit more grounded, a little bit more practical effects that we're back to. I mean, look at the action that's inside John Wick. I hope they take the John Wick action style and return that to the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah.
Where it's very raw, where it, use some camera tricks. You use old school filmmaking technology.
Yeah,
and make it new again.
Yeah.
And speaking of John Wick 4 has a new release date, and it's the same day as the Matrix trilogy, as the Matrix 4.
That's legit.
Yeah. So Keanu Reeves is going to be going up against himself in a Matrix reboot.
That makes me happy.
Yes, I am so happy with this news. So I actually haven't seen John Wick 3 yet. We've been rewatching. We rewatched John Wick 1 last week. We finished John Wick 2 last night. We're hoping to watch John Wick 3 while I'm on vacation over the next couple of weeks.
Good.
I'm taking the next couple of weeks off so we can move on Saturday, finally move into our new house, and be all settled and unpacked, and then I can just kind of for like 10 or 12 days.
That'd be legit.
Because I freaking need it.
I'm hoping that for you.
Yep.
Yeah, man, this is cool. I've only seen the second John Wick, but
you haven't seen the first one?
No.
Oh my God, watch the first one.
Yeah, I want to, but the problem is it's been on like no service. I could probably rent it on Amazon, but it's on Jeff's service. Ooh. Pays to be in craft computing, folks. Pays to be here on Talking Heads.
I'm shocked you don't have access to my Plex server yet.
I just never asked, I guess. Sounds good to me. Yeah. Sweet.
Of course, Jason and Bite My Bits hasn't added me to his Plex server yet. So.
And what the hell's wrong with you, Jason? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I loved everything about...
You Google Fiber and your 100 terabyte NAS.
That's it?
Yep. That's it. So that is the news for the week. We actually burned through that a lot faster than I thought we would.
Yeah.
It's only 9:30. What do you guys want to talk about?
9:30, you say? You all want to hear me go on a Cybertruck rant again?
I think we've been there.
Combine it with people's hatred for The Last Jedi, and I will start going fisticuffs. We'll have to move this desk out of the way, go 9 rounds, bare knuckle boxing, Queensbury rules.
That's right. And see, which color do you guys like behind us?
So. Go for that after midnight.
I'm definitely partial to the blue. I've always been partial to the blue background. The red and orange are kind of okay. I don't like the green. The green just looks...
It would look better if we were dressed different.
Yeah.
Might look good with my yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow!
Yeah, the red's pretty good when the red's up a little higher. So I do like that. Actually, pink is pretty cool.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. Yeah.
Kinda...
I do have a little pink on this forehead for some reason. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Yeah, I got a little pink on my forehead.
Yeah. So I still need to figure out the angle of the tracks to make sure it's not bleeding in too badly. DS9 is having a rough year for actors. Yes, Renee, a.k.a. Odo, passed away this last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was rough. That one was, I think, a little bit more unexpected. With Nog passing away earlier this year, he had already had a very, very rough life. He had had multiple organ transplants very early on in his life and was never in the best of health. So it was kind of hard to see him go. But always kind of expected. You know, he was never the healthiest of people. But seeing Renee go, that was a little bit harder. Well, not harder, but a little bit more unexpected, I should say. So, yeah, friends and family of Renee, be thinking about him, thinking about you guys. Tough week. Thoughts on The Mandalorian? I actually have not watched The Mandalorian. I did finally subscribe to Disney Plus, but we've been moving ever since The Mandalorian aired. Getting everything packed up in our temporary home and moving into the new place. We're hoping to be finally fully moved in on Saturday and actually living at the new house as of this coming Saturday. And I'm hoping to binge watch The Mandalorian up through episode 4 or 5 or whatever we're on in the next week or so.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's amazing. From what I've heard, it's everything we hoped the new trilogy would be.
It's different.
It's different. It's exciting. It's
way more pulpy.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the aspects that I admire most about it, but didn't quite understand about it until later. It honestly took me until about episode 3 until I was completely on board with The Mandalorian, and I still have a couple of things, a couple of questions about it, but they do not play at all into my enjoyment of the show, because I'm one of the apparently few on the internet that is able to separate any sort of lingering questions or thoughts or concerns from my enjoyment of a product. But yeah, personally, I really liked it. About episode 3, I realized kind of more what they were going for. I realized why I liked it. And then the rest of the episodes just nailed it on the head for me every single time. I mean, it truly feels like we are watching some great Star Wars. It reminds me of like the feeling I got watching some of the better episodes of Clone Wars or something like that, which
Yeah.
It's head and shoulders above Clone Wars. So to me, it just represents everything that could become of the Star Wars IP as it relates to like these more adventure-y, pulpy, expanded universe type shows. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really digging it. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I am a little bummed that it's going to be so short.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, I'm hoping to get into it this next week. I have a lot of shows that I'm hoping to catch up on over the couple of weeks I'm off on vacation. Let's see. JJ says, can you answer my earlier question? I don't remember what it was. I do remember someone said something about what's the best budget monitor, like 144 hertz, 1440p. So I'll go ahead and answer that one. I've been really happy with the Pixio PX276H. It's actually the monitor that's on my desk right now. It's this little thin guy right here. It's less than $400 and it's 1440p, 144 hertz. FreeSync works great. I do have a monitor review coming up this next week for a BenQ monitor that I think is priced at $275. That is also 1440p, 144 hertz. But I haven't even opened that monitor yet. But hopefully very soon. Let's see.
Skull asked how I felt about episodes 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars. I love them. I don't discriminate against Star Wars. I have spent the better part of my life apologizing for the prequels, so you can bet your ass that by now I'm way better at defending movies that are better than the prequels.
And these are better than the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
These are way better than the prequels.
Honestly, both of the new movies are better than original Star Wars, better than A New Hope. A New Hope is the worst one in the series.
Phantom Menace is the worst one in the series.
No, it's not.
Phantom Menace.
If you're going to go anything other than New Hope, it's Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is the worst one in the series. I'll put A New Hope above that.
Yeah. So
A New Hope
here's the
sets
thing.
the scene.
And that's all that it has going for it.
Right.
That's all it has.
Right.
I'm sorry. Here's the thing. I will grant that setting the scene, setting the tone for the entire series as we know it.
Hold on, my rant counter screen isn't set up.
Yeah, I know. I leaned back for the first time.
Brace!
I will grant that setting the tone, setting everything that we understand about this giant of a pop culture icon, I will grant that represents a lot of points. That's all it has. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the movie, but it's got nothing other than a bunch of tropes and archetypes and things like that. And I guess it pioneered a lot of filmmaking. Sure, I give you all that. I'm not saying I don't like A New Hope. What I'm saying is that it's not the best Star Wars.
No, and it's not the best.
And even in my mind, I put Attack of the Clones below it, but it's not like above even Phantom Menace. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because it's like we can all be like, well, the movie was made, in the 70s and it was made with this level of technology. And like, yeah, for what it is, it represents a great leap in filmmaking. But how many times do I have to have the conversation with somebody that it's like, well, I don't care how pioneering or great or crafty making 2001 was. Right. It's still a bad movie. Okay, well, if that's how you feel about it, which is how many people feel about 2001, then you're not allowed to feel that having an impact on the industry or having an impact on pop culture or setting the scene for what has become like the largest intellectual property ever. You're not allowed to like have that outweigh, anything else.
Right.
It's like really all that Star Wars and New Hope has going for it are those things. And it's a lot of things, and they count for a lot. But that's it. Yeah. As a movie as a whole, it's like a B movie, and that's fine. It's pulpy, it's fun, it's based off the old serial adventures. Dude, it introduced all of my favorite things. Star Wars is my favorite thing. So for that, it's forever in my heart.
Yep.
I just watched all the Star Wars, getting ready to go see Episode 9 next week.
Yep.
I didn't not enjoy a single one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody knocks them so hard. And I was watching The Last Jedi. I was like, man, why do people knock on this movie so hard?
And that's the one that I couldn't understand, is because the story is not complete. And again, I've said this before.
And how crazy is it that that's not obvious? There's so many people.
Right. And I've said this before. Go back and read the original 1980 reviews of The Empire Strikes Back. And it was, 1977, Star Wars was this blockbuster film that came out of nowhere and became an overnight sensation and really sparked the sci-fi and visual effects industry.
Sure.
So much so that it spawned its own visual effects studio.
Which is a legend in the industry.
Yes, which is the groundbreaking studio of all studios. When Empire Strikes Back came out, it was not well received. It was viewed as a step back for the series. It was viewed as, what is Star Wars even? We're not sure what it is. In the first video, or in the first movie, we had all of this epic action and heroic, sword fighting and space dog fighting. And in the second one, we got like this weird sappy love story, and it ended in this really dark place where the bad guy won. And it's like, what is this? It was like 80 minutes of character development, a minute of action, Luke floating some rocks. Who the hell is Yoda? Like, what the crap is this? That was the reaction to Empire Strikes Back. And that sounds oddly familiar to The Last Jedi reaction, where they're going, The Force Awakens was like, oh, it's so fantastic. Rey is a breath of fresh air. All of a sudden Star Wars has a story again. And we went back to some practical effects with BB-8, and he looks fantastic, and it's campy, and it's fun, and it's everything else. And then we go into The Last Jedi, and they went, well, suddenly spaceships have fuel. What is that? And
which is crazy because, what's wild about it?
You didn't think they ran on fuel in the first place?
Everybody's been watching The Mandalorian, and not a single person I've talked to or read about has been like, what do you mean the Mandalorian ship has fuel?
Right.
Yeah, he freaking gets a bounty, and he's like, this won't even cover the cost of fuel. Oh, and now fuel has cost?
Right. Why do you think Cloud City was a thing? It's because they're a mining facility that supplied fuel. That's the essence of Cloud City investment.
I honestly think that, like, most of the people...
It was a mining facility, for crying out loud. What do you think they were mining?
Yeah. It's just hard to say, because I feel like most of the people that are complaining about The Last Jedi, like, weren't even alive to experience the, like, twist and the stab at the end of Empire firsthand. Mm-hmm. Like, they're all of, like, our generation, which is, like, afterwards.
I already know what Star Wars is.
Yeah, and so it's like, in your time, Star Wars has been well received. Mm-hmm. You know how it ends. You know what purpose all of these nice little setups the Empire Strikes Back gives you serves, because you've seen Return of the Jedi. All I can think of every time I watch The Last Jedi, and even The Force Awakens, I'm like, whoa, dude, there's going to be a lot of questions that have to be answered in Episode 9. And here's the thing. Episode 9 isn't even out yet. So, of course, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're smart enough filmmakers to answer all the questions that I have. Yep. Like, nobody buys a property for $5 billion and doesn't have an idea of how they're going to tie it all together.
Doesn't have a roadmap already established for this is what we want to create, and this is what fans want, and this is what will make the property work.
I mean, here's the thing. There is no way on God's earth that they continued the saga and they were like, you know what? We got to think about this one movie at a time. No, they're thinking about it three movies at a time. They're thinking about it in terms of chess. They're moves ahead of you. What's crazy to me is, how can you think that the same people that bought it for $5 billion can make a masterpiece like Rogue One in the series, which so many people claim is among the best Star Wars, me included. I think it is the best Star Wars movie. But then you can think that those people could make a movie like that with this level of care and then just destroy the saga.
Destroy the main franchise.
And it's like, okay, granted...
It's not what's happening.
Granted, guess what? Maybe next week, maybe next time I'm on the show, I'll be back in here and I'll be humbly eating some crow pie.
And you go, you know what? Episode 9 did not live up to the hype.
And it didn't
answer
deliver.
the stories, and I'm disappointed. I doubt that's going to happen.
I doubt it too. And look, maybe this will age like a glass of warm milk, but... and I'm always careful of the things I say, but I'm just gonna say, like, I haven't watched a single trailer for episode 9 yet, and I am confident that because I've liked every Star Wars that has come out, even Last Jedi, which I know had a lot of questions and a lot of hangups or whatever. Even me, I was watching it earlier this week, and I was like, oh yeah, there are some things. Mary Poppins scene, worst scene in Star Wars history, but other than that, it's like, give it a chance to breathe, guys.
Yeah.
Give it a chance to breathe. I mean, come on. Anyways, some other questions.
No, they're all just ranting on Star Wars now.
Yeah, whatever.
What else we want to talk about? We got 15 minutes left. That was a pretty good rant. Anything on your mind this week other than stepping on nails?
Yo,
here's how to avoid that?
Here's a question.
Yeah.
For the viewer. Maybe not you.
Totally.
Been playing Pokemon Fire Red.
Okay.
Game Boy Advance game. It's like 3rd generation? I think it's 3rd generation Pokemon. Now, maybe I should know this. I'm going to expose my Pokemon noobness, okay?
Oh.
But I'm still pretty early on in the game. I went ahead and leveled up my Magikarp that you get from the Poke Center right after getting the Rock Badge. Leveled it up to a Gyarados. Went and beat Lieutenant Surge. Now I'm moving on.
There you go.
The thing is, I'm leveling up my Pikachu. I was playing earlier today, and I had to just like shut off and not save because I got overwhelmed by the options of which move I should have Pikachu forget. Mm-hmm. My Pikachu had Thunder Shock. It had Slam. It had Double Team, and it had Thunder Wave. Now, which move, when it leveled up, it wanted to learn Thunderbolt. Which move do I forget? Now, I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, I should forget Slam. But first of all, it's got more power than Thunder Shock, okay? They both have the same accuracy, though, so you're likely to land. But if you get rid of Thunder Shock, you're diminishing the amount of total moves your Pikachu can make before having to go to the Poke Center. But does it pay out because you want to have a balance of moves? You don't want to have only electric type moves, right? So you don't lose the Slam because then you only have electric attacks.
And if you go up against a water Pokemon, you're screwed.
Well, water actually you destroy.
Yeah,
but
a rock
type. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I don't know. It just overwhelmed me, and I did some. I was Googling it, and I'm sure with more thorough Google search, I could figure it out. But I thought, while I had a captive audience, that maybe I'd see what y'all think. Somebody says Fire Red is a remake of Gen 1. Yes, but it's also considered Gen 3. Rogue One forced diversity for the Chinese market. I don't need some blind guy with no force power getting lucky. What's interesting is that Asian people account for more of the global population than white people do. So were they forcing it for the Chinese market, or were they just making a movie that included people of all ethnicities? I understand that a lot of modern filmmaking makes concessions for the Asian market, but let's get real. That's just the way it's going to be. Not a single person said that about Firefly when they're watching Firefly.
Right.
They're not like, oh my God, they use Chinese swear words? What are they? They're pandering to Chinese?
What is that?
Yeah, like, get over it.
It's not Blizzard for crying out loud.
No, it's not even the same thing.
Is Red is Awesome seriously talking about Pokemon when Craft Computing is looking at a bottle of Dragon's Milk? That was pretty much what was going on. How much would I pay for a 750 ml of KBS? So it's a Kentucky Breakfast Stout. $12?
Oh, what is it?
12?
Yeah.
I'd say $12.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say you're right.
Someone says drop Thunderweave, another says get rid of Thundershock.
Yeah. See, that's the thing that holds me up is like Thunder Wave does no damage, but it paralyzes.
Right.
It's like I am a sucker for utility moves.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt has a chance to paralyze, but it's not guaranteed. And in my brief testing of it, it didn't paralyze once in 15 moves.
I'd get rid of Thundershock.
Yeah, it seems like the smart move to make, but I just wasn't. I got hesitant on pulling the trigger.
Me, if I'm playing D&D and I've got an attack that does 12 damage and a 50-50 for paralyze, or I've got an attack that does 17 damage and a 4% chance of paralyze, I'm getting rid of the 4% chance, keeping the utility of the 50-50, and going with a heavier attack on the other one.
Yeah.
Then you're just deciding what you want to do, and then if you paralyze on a 50-50, hey, that's a bonus. You're not going to go like, hey, it paralyzed on a 4% chance and go, bonus! So,
yeah,
I do that.
See, Rick says Thunderwave is super strong, but I don't know. This all too much. But I think Thundershock's the right idea. I might have to do that. Yeah, we'll see. I'll report back next time.
Yeah, and it all depends on how you roll the dice.
It's true.
I know I'm mixing a little.
Oh, it's all random number generating.
It is.
It's all RNG. Yeah. So. Speaking of which, I commissioned my first my first artist.
Did you?
This week? Because we're talking about D&D. I commissioned an artist to draw a portrait of my D&D character I'm retiring this week. I played him for
nice.
2 years.
Nice.
Over 200, more than 200 hours of D&D total, and I'm retiring him. And commissioned an artist. I highly suggest if y'all have any sort of artistic needs or anything like that you commission somebody to do it for you, because dang it feels good to have a professional work for you. Not only that, you paying that guy's bills a little bit. There's a metaphor here somewhere. You can go on to Patreon's Craft Computing's Patreon, donate $1 a month, come join us in the Discord,
and pay a professional to drink for you.
Pay a professional to do something for you.
I mean,
I wasn't thinking drink. I was thinking.
I mean, do something for you.
Yeah, drinking.
That's what I meant.
We will report back on our drinking for you. But.
That's right. I will say I did that same kind of thing. I didn't paint a single room in this house. I paid painters to do it because they did it in half the time and they did twice as good a job as I ever would.
Yeah. Plus, who enjoys painting their own house?
Right.
It's not fun.
It's a 2,100 square foot house with 10-foot ceilings. It's not a fun paint job.
No.
They know way more than I ever do. They have all the equipment already.
They come in, knock it out in a couple days. Not a single drop of paint anywhere it's not supposed to be.
It took him 4 days, and it's a freaking amazing job.
Yeah, perfect.
And he ended up charging me $800 less than the quote was.
Perfect.
It's like, hell yeah. Yeah. So, Becky says a friend 3D printed his D&D character.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw that. So I'm in the 3D printer market. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I see a lot of people doing that, and I see that I think they're called Hero Forge. They offer the same service for anybody who's interested in the minis. They'll 3D print a mini for you on a variety of different materials, and it seems to be worth the cost, at least in my opinion, if you want a customized mini.
Ooh, yeah. Becky had an Omnipolo Pecan Mud. Bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout, 11%, so she matched us for an ABV. Yeah, sorry, I missed that picture because we're running off one monitor right now, so I don't get the Discord and YouTube feeds all in one. I'm doing a Restream combined feed, but it doesn't show me the pictures, so I missed that one. I did see someone comment about Pecan Mud, and I was wondering what they were talking about. I didn't realize it was you, so sorry. But and I'm glad your kids got to stay up late and watch a little bit of Craft Computing Talking Heads. It's good for them.
Heck yeah.
But no, Pecan Mud. Oh, that sounds good. That just sounds good. Imported by 12% LLC in Montana or Mount Vernon, New York. But strangely enough, it's only an 11% beer. So
not too bad.
Yeah.
You're hanging in there.
Yeah. I should have someone do that for my Hobbit Warlock.
You should.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's fun.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Guys, this has been... Oh. Nice.
I love the lighting in here. It turned out so well.
It did.
It really did.
I hope that you all have... that was like when you're coming in on an international flight and they like turn the lights on the plane as you're like descending.
It totally was.
They're like, time to wake up.
This is your pilot speaking. We're currently approaching LAX. The time is...
Yeah, exactly. Because now... Oof. But this has been the inaugural episode of Talking Heads in the new studio. Brand new craft computing coming at you. You all are going to see the studio grow, just like you've seen it grow since last week.
There's a lot more to do still. As you can tell from the echo, there's a couple of home improvement items I need to do in the studio. Tell you what, I'm going to grab the camera real quick.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Is this a Talking Heads first?
This is a Talking Heads first. I've never been behind the camera before.
Okay, I'll narrate.
So there's enough echo you can probably hear me.
Sure.
So over on the side, there's actually a full bar, which is pretty freaking cool. That will actually have a wet bar possibly as soon as Sunday. And this whole area is going to get a brick facade on the front of it. The fridge is already fully stocked. This is going to get a hammered copper sink, which is going to be freaking amazing. And I will have a fully functional bar on set. And then right here is a doorway that's going to get an actual door installed, solid core door, help with echo and all that kind of stuff. So definitely good stuff to come. Let me know when I'm back in frame because I don't have a monitor here.
That's good.
Here we go.
A little too far. I mean, you're favoring yourself now.
That's all right. That's about where we had it. That's
Yeah,
almost perfect.
I guess if you want to be the star of the show.
That's almost perfect.
Yeah, it is almost perfect.
We're one-third.
Yeah, I know.
What the crap?
That's almost perfect.
Yeah.
You just can't see the Apple logo anymore.
So yeah, a lot of cool changes are coming. Let alone that side of the room. That side of the room is almost untouched from after it got painted. I do have my desks up, but I have nothing else up.
Yeah.
There's going to be cabinets. There's going to be screens. I've got a new test bench to install.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Scott Fitton says, build log. Yeah, there is, and there will be, and there will continue to be.
Becky says, I do believe I need that fridge. What are the specs? That is a 7.6 cubic inch fridge from Galans, I believe the name of it is. It is a retro style fridge, and I bought it specifically because I thought it looked badass in a home bar.
Yeah.
But it is truly a badass fridge. It cost me about $299. And it is really solid thus far. I am really happy with it. Let me see if I can link it. Might be able to link it. Looks like the normal price on it is about $515. I got it for $299. So I know that price is out there. It is available in both red and black. And the black is actually more expensive than the
I was going to say, the red looks pretty slick, though.
The red is pretty slick. I will say the red's pretty slick.
That totally looks like something you'd get a Nuka-Cola out of.
I will go ahead and link it right here. So if you are in the chat, there you go. It is definitely a nice fridge. I don't know that it's quite worth $500, but it's certainly worth $300. And if the looks are worth a couple $100 extra bucks to you, then by all means. But it is a very nice fridge. I am very happy with it thus far.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Good morning from Norway. Good morning.
Guten Morgen. No, that's a different one.
That's German. Yeah.
With a name like
mood
mine.
lighting. Yeah, we can adjust the white balance of the lights in here, so we can go from a warm white to a cool white, and really anything in between. I've been kind of digging slightly on the warm side.
Yeah, I dig
for
that
the
too.
white light. That to me is like the perfect bar light. But basically, the whole idea behind this set was to make it kind of look like a speakeasy. And so the Edison bulbs behind me, those are fully dimmable as well. I'm going to have Edison bulbs hanging above the bar over there. what looks like an antique hand-hammered copper sink, the retro fridge over there. We're going to put up shelving for all my liquor and glassware and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty sweet space when it's done.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it grow. And you guys are going to get to watch that happen. So.
Yep. So, anyway, it is 10 p.m. here on the West Coast, and I think that is probably going to do it for the night, unless anyone has any last-second questions to ask, which I don't think they do. Someone says the red fridge is $3.99 Canadian right now, so actually there's a chance that it's still affordable. I did get mine from Home Depot. They were selling for $2.99 on kind of a Black Friday deal. I think it was just like a first come first serve kind of thing. So if they still have them near you, cool. If not, like I said, I don't know if they're quite worth $500, but maybe $400 is probably still a decent deal on them.
Yeah, it seemed pretty good to me. So
yep. So anyway, this has been episode 110 of Talking Heads, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. Make sure to like this video before you close the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you are interested in joining the chat post-stream and throughout the week, make sure to look up the Patreon. Minimum donation of $1 per video. You can set a maximum if you want. So if you want to donate $1 a month, you can do that. If you want to donate $1 for every video I post, you can do that as well. Or you can donate even more than that. It is entirely up to you. But it really does help out the channel, helps keep the lights on around here, and it's a new house, so there's a lot of lights to keep on. You get to chat with myself, Rhett, John, Steve, whoever happens to be on at the time. Pretty much one of us is always awake. There's like a 3-hour gap in the day where someone's asleep, but yeah, beyond that, all of us are pretty much always on there. Join the Patreon, get access to the Discord, join in the chat, join in the festivities that happen there. And it's not all computer chat. It's pretty much anything goes. There's a car chat. There's general meme posting. There's a food and drink chat.
Music, video games,
TV. There's weekly game nights that happen every Saturday. There's also just spontaneous multiplayer game sessions that break out throughout the week. So come join in the fun, if you will. And it really does help out the channel. Anything to pimp while you're on the show? You got anything coming up?
Right now, guys, it's kind of late, but if you are into making video games, we're in the midst. One of my other clubs, we host a game jam where you can come and make a game from start to finish. It's called the One Mechanic Game Jam, or OMG Jam for short, and we are in this midst of the 6th one. It ends on Monday, and if that's something you want to do, you can come join us at Game Devs Quest. You can go to gamedevsquest.com, find the link to our Discord, and ask somebody there for directions to join the game jam, or ask somebody how you might be able to help their game jam project. Maybe you like making digital art. Maybe you like making sound effects with your mouth or your butt. Either way,
opportunity strikes.
Yeah, it's all there. You can find a way to contribute to making games or practice making games, whatever have you, for OMG Jam 6 from Game Devs Quest.
So gamedevsquest.com. Also links down in the video description to Rhett's Twitter handle at @RhettIsAwesome or at GameDevsQuest on Twitter. So you can look him up that way. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing as well. I've been tweeting out little snippets of my new studio throughout the week, and that'll probably continue as the studio continues to grow. Thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of Talking Heads. It has been awesome. We will be back here next Wednesday night for the latest in beer and tech news. And hopefully a couple of videos between now and then even. So getting back in the swing of things. That'll do it.
Good night, y'all.
Night, y'all. Cheers.